I hope you can all appreciate the importance of what PV22 is doing, right? It's not just about getting a couple extra votes for any given number of candidates, though a couple is underselling it. They've gotten over 5,000 volunteer signups, which you're going to add to.
How you doing, Vaush?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, person who needs to introduce themselves?
Great. Hey, my name is Sam. I am the project director for Progressive Victory 2022, which has been partnering with Vaush on a lot of projects around this election, and really excited to be here tonight.
Yeah, happy to have you here. Sam Hyde. What a pleasure. Um, After committing the 9/11 terror attacks, you finally have time. No, it's a delight to talk to you. So we have wacky plans in mind, do we not?
Yes, we do. I actually uh, I've been itching to find a way to involve you and your community in some message testing around how to get voters to turn out. And I talked to you about this a little bit ago. And it seems like you're interested, right? So tell me what it is that appeals to you about this idea.
Well, we talked primarily about rhetoric on the stream, and
Hmm.
there's no more direct a representation of how effective rhetoric is than focus group testing, essentially.
That's right. Yeah, and that's what I want us to do here. I basically want to turn you and your audience into a focus group, a self-directed focus group, to come up with better messages than the Democrats have come up with for how to win elections. And the way that we can, if we're able to come up with some effective messages here, I promise you that we are going to get them in front of bigwigs in the party to show that talking to streamers and their audiences is a good way to get the right messages without having to put people into a stilted focus group room with a two-way mirror, and instead just talk to people where they are and leverage the communities that we have access to.
Yeah. So what's the game plan then? Hit me up.
All right, great. So if you don't mind, I'd love to start with a little bit of history here. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
And I sent you some visual aids. I don't know if you want to bring them on stream. If not, I'm happy to just describe what we're talking about. It's just a couple of pictures of some people.
All right. I am providing critical visual aid.
That's good. Okay, so first of all, this is a really really old process. This kind of like message development thing. It goes back a lot longer than you think. Basically, since the dawn of mass media in the early 20th century, people have been trying to figure out how to use messages to activate and engage the opinions of the public. And it started out with state-based propaganda during the World Wars, and then it moved in the era of TV into using more modern public opinion research techniques and development of video messages that really defined the 20th century. But the modern era of message development in the political sphere really came of age in the 1992 election on the Clinton campaign, which employed academic public opinion researchers who had worked as professors doing as political scientists to do polls and focus groups used not just to measure public opinion, but for the first time to really test out messages and even cut ads before they aired. And this guy here on the top, this guy with the boomer mustache and glasses,
I was going to say dressed up for a pedophile themed Halloween costume party.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is that like both the people here, they like, I was a kid, like a kid of reasonable age. I'm kind of older than I think most of the people in your audience, and my parents are around the same age as these two people. So like they remind me of my parents from when
It was
when I was a kid.
a dark era, you know.
Yeah, with the like jackets with the really clashing patterns and stuff. It's great. So anyway, this guy Stan Greenberg with the mustache, he was Bill Clinton's first pollster, and his real innovation was that he asked for a lot of money, right? And pollsters up to that point really only did a couple polls here and there, but instead of a single poll, he ran many polls with overlapping different samples, all like happening at the same time. And he also ran tracking polls, so they had a really good idea of what was happening at any given moment and what was changing. And well, interestingly, he would do this thing called a simulated campaign, where a survey participant would tell someone over the phone who they planted to vote for, and then the person giving the survey would tell them like 8 or 10 messages in a row, some arguing in favor of Clinton and some in favor of his opponent. And then after hearing that entire battery of messages, the person giving the survey would ask again who the participant planned to vote for and see how many people changed their votes and in which direction. So you could get at the end, you'd see, okay, so when you start out the survey, 42% of the people want to vote for Clinton, 40% of people want to vote for Bush, and then after it's being exposed to both our messages and our opponents' messages, 52% of people wanted to vote for Clinton and 48% of people wanted to vote for Bush. So that helps simulate a campaign, and it's kind of stilted, right? But at the time, given the tools they had before the internet, this is really powerful stuff. Okay, and the second person here, this woman on the bottom is Celinda Lake, and she is Clinton's first focus group researcher.
I didn't know they
And
let lesbians on TV that early.
she's still a powerhouse to this day. She still is a working pollster and respected by a lot of people, especially people working in the reproductive justice space. They rely on her a lot, and she still does really great work.
It's nice.
So this is Celinda Lake. She really pioneered focus grouping, and she would get a bunch of people into a room and give them all like a small financial incentive, maybe like $40 to be there, which at the time wasn't, it was, enough money to matter to people, right? And then she would play ads for people in the room and lead a group discussion about how the ads made them feel. And this is really in contrast to the surveys we talked about before. It's qualitative research. It's not representative of the public at large, but it's meant to tease out nuance and get more free-form insights into the messages and ads and how they were working psychologically. And when I came to DC, I've been working in DC for 20 years almost, and when I came to DC, these people ruled the city. They had all started their own consulting firms and were raking in money. I thought I wanted to be a pollster, and I was employed by several polling firms to do work as a junior level staffer, right, at the beginning of my career in DC. And my first job in DC was actually as an intern at Celinda Lake's firm, and that was all the way back in 2006. So that's a long time ago, right? But these days, message testing and political media development employs many of the same tactics pioneered by these boomer pollsters and focus group consultants, but they've been scaled up and they've done a really good job of maximizing the impact of these tactics by deploying that at a really rapid scale using the internet, right? So now every piece of campaign media that's ever that ever has ad money put behind it is put through rounds of testing to see which versions with different messengers and messages move the most people. And they conduct these tests with huge samples of online survey takers to see which ads people find the most convincing, to get them to stop yelling at their TVs and actually go vote. And this cycle is no different. We've heard a lot of what the Democrats are saying to motivate people to vote, right? You covered, I think, a lot of it. You heard what Fetterman said in his debate, and you've been covering on your channel, right? So we know what the Democrats are saying, and they've tested all those messages with their pollsters. And also on top of that, there are years and years of messaging research conducted in many, many field experiments that have yielded a set of best practices on how to convince people to vote on top of the message itself, right? So there's a relatively new tool that we at Progressive Victory 2022 are working with called Grow Progress. And they run an especially rapid testing regime where you can test not just advertisements, but simple text strings for their effectiveness. And so we know what the Democrats are saying and what psychological tactics they're using. So I thought, hey, why not let Vaush and his audience get on the action and see if they can do a little bit better than the Democratic pollsters? So what do you think?
Yeah, I think so chat, for those of you who have the attention spans of like a bee, um What's being said here is that modern technology allows us to test the political efficacy of slogans that we can choose against ones that are predominantly used by the Democratic Party. You see, you follow that? So you got to give them two runs. You give them the long and the short. Yeah, absolutely. I'm speaking for
Okay,
them here.
great. So let's talk a little bit about what we're actually doing here, right? So our mission today is to come up with messages that specifically aim to convince young left-leaning people to vote. We're not trying to convince Republicans or independents to swing on over to the Democratic Party, and we're not trying to appeal to my 70-year-old boomer dad. We're trying to come up with messages that will convince people like you that it's worth your time and energy to cast your ballot instead of going down yet another Imgur rabbit hole or whatever the hell you youths are doing these days. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. So let's talk tactics. So that, if you scroll down to the next page, that's where we get into the testing phase of this. And there is really, really solid research that's on the best tactics for convincing people to vote. We're not talking about polling, which is faster but fairly flimsy evidence. We're talking about field experiments, where you can come up with a treatment and in a control group, expose the treatment group to a message during the election, and then after the election, you go look up the people in your experimental groups in the public voter file and see whether or not they actually voted for real. So this is really good stuff. So here are the most effective tactics. Number one, ask people to make a pledge to vote, a commitment to themselves that they will vote. And people are more likely to follow through on something if they make a promise to themselves that they would. And you can also ask people to make a plan, which helps to reinforce that they have to think it out. Okay, number two, getting people to tell you why they want to vote in an election increases their likelihood of following them through. So if you're not having a conversation in person, at least ask them to think about it. And three, soft social pressure really helps. So you can tell people that although who they vote for is secret, whether or not they vote is a matter of public record, which is true, by the way, and it will be known by anyone with the interest and know how to look it up. So I've written these three message prompts on this page that match up with the tactics above and also largely match the Democrats' messaging on issues around the election. So take a look and come up with your own. And my advice to you is don't get too hung up on what the professionals are doing in this space. Instead, go with your gut and like what seems the most salient and truthful to you. So see if you can come up with 5 solid messages, and we'll test them against my generic ones and see which ones come out on top of the message test. All right.
How long do we have? What is the length of a message?
So you can see here on the ones I've generated, it can be 1, 2, 3 sentences max, but keep it short if you can, and but enough that you can make it unique, right? You really want it to be. What I would love to see from you all is for you to really go for it and come up with stuff that is maybe a little the more buttoned up people would say is a little too aggressive or interesting, and they wouldn't have come up with a little more creative, right?
Okay, I think we're going to need a minute.
Yeah, take as long as you need, and I don't need to be here the whole time. I just wanted to help set the stage and give you your mission. I'm happy to be here to bounce ideas off of, but like frankly, I'm about to be 40. I'm too old for this. I don't know how to talk to young people anymore, and you all know best how to talk to people like you. So do what you got to do.
Okay, I am going to hang up and I'm going to argue with my chat for an undetermined length of time.
Yes, and call me back anytime you want me to get back in. All right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, lads. We have to beat out the generic answers. 5 messages. It's homework time. You have to make it Mimi? No, I want to try here. I want to do well. I want to see if we can do a good job. We're not doing for pretend fake points, right? We're doing it for like we're really testing the viability of these messages. Well, we have okay. Let's think of like themes for 5 of them, okay? Because we don't want repeats. We don't get as much data that way. Okay. So obviously, okay, we should focus on basic stuff, which was like, okay, an obvious one is threat to democracy, right? That's one. Student debt, abortion, and inflation. Okay, so abortion should obviously be one. I think inflation and like the general inability to find footing in life. Climate change, that's right. It's aimed at getting young Democrats to vote, Shu. Trying to think. Student debt, that would fit under econ stuff. Yeah, maybe yeah, we should like trans gay marriage kind of stuff. Okay, hold on. That's always popular with the hip and happening young people. Let me think, okay? It's pretty low, Shu. Like for at least for left-leaning people. The main thing that we're trying to overcome right now, right, is complacency and doomerism. You know, if you're complacent, you're not going to show up to vote anyway. I want to think of like a good because we got 5 here. I want to think. Okay, let's start with the LGBT one. Okay, okay. I'm gonna start here. Okay, hold on. You need to talk about immediate threats like overturning election or the Supreme Court overturning marriage rights. Yeah, yeah. Okay, hold on. Something like 7 years ago, after decades of fighting, the right to same-sex marriage was finally given federal protection. Can we focus on the message and not my typos? Republicans, who just jumped in here? Anonymous coyote. Today, Republicans are... Why'd they just add a space? Get out of here. Republicans are trying to ban LGBT people from school, trying to ban discussion of LGBT people from school, accusing teachers of being predators for acknowledging the existence of gay people, banning teachers, accusing teachers are accusing... No. Are trying to ban witch hunt. You're right. Are leading a witch hunt to ban LGBT teachers and get LGBT teachers fired. Mention censorship of LGBT people banning books. We only have 3 sentences here. We have to... How about today Republicans are trying to turn back the clock, leading a witch hunt against LGBT teachers and banning... Very boomer? You're right, it's not punchy. It's not punchy. Yeah, too wordy. 7 years ago. Okay, let's save ourselves a bit of text space here. 7 years ago, the right to same-sex marriage was finally given protection. Today, Republicans... This page is open. Hey, Sam! Oh, right, I have the link up there. Lamau. Alright, one more time. No more distractions. Okay. Right, like you're talking to chat, but I'm so wordy. Today, Republicans want those protections gone and any mention of LGBT people banned from schools. Yeah, okay, that's good. Wait, that's good. Today, Republicans want those protections gone and any mention of LGBT people banned from schools. Will you make a pledge to vote in this coming election to keep upcoming? It needs pressure like you are the only one who can stop them. Well, we can't fit everything into every one, right? We're trying to vary these. Do what Trump does and threaten them? Yeah. Say I'll sue him if they don't. Will you make a pledge to vote this November and keep our country from... Protect our what? Vaush, you're literally doing so terrible. Chad has had a lot of great suggestions. I can't read... Oh, wait. Will you make a pledge this November and keep our rights from being taken away? Something like that? Holy spam. Yeah, people get annoying. Keep our rights from being erased? Stripped away sounds better than taken away. Stolen! Will you make a pledge to vote this November and ensure our rights aren't stolen away? That sounds a bit better, I think. Something like that? Okay, let's leave this here for now. Hold on, wait. This is like one of those you go back and you revise it kind of things, okay? We're gonna leave this for now, and we're gonna do some other ones. Okay? So like we're not done. We're just yeah, okay, hold on. Why not ask them to look up the address their polling place right now? 'Cause again, we only get a couple sentences here. Let me think. Climate change, climate change. Stop talking about the LGBT one, okay? We're talking about the climate change one. Why are you guys still going on about this one? We're not changing this one right now. We'll change it down the line. We're doing this one now. Oh my God. Yeah, the issue is that Democrats also aren't that great about climate change. I mean, Republicans are infinitely worse. It's just, it's too late to stop climate change, but Republicans aren't helping. Is climate change a good talking point? Young people tend to take it seriously because we're going to live to see the effects. I feel like these are the same old boring catchphrases. We need something more fresh. Fuck, you're right. Are we just reiterating the logic of the lines that we're trying to compete with? Do we have to be... That's true, Shu. That might actually be better. Yeah, we have to... We're talking to, like, Zoomers here, right? Climate change is an existential threat to all of humanity. The wealthy can afford to hide from its consequences. Can you? See, the problem is it needs to include, like, vote for the Democrats, don't vote for Republicans. Like, it needs to... It can't just be the wealthy, you know? It has to... Chat is running too fast to read. Would it not make sense to make a more open doc for people to add to and then choose from there? Well, if we made an open doc, all it would take is one person, like, deleting everything. I guess you could make like a what do they call, like a Google form or like a Google questionnaire? Actually, that's not a bad idea. You know, I this really is meant to be like a crowd deferral. I would much rather yeah. Wait, hold on. Wait, a Google form. Hold on. Hold on. Wait, okay. PV 2022 vote slogan. Test vote slogans. Form description, no. Untitled question. Okay, hold on. So we need... All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this form. I'm going to have 5. I'm going to have 5 here. Paragraph, long answer. Okay. Duplicate, 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 duplicate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I want to stick to these 5 themes. So within that purview, democracy, abortion, econ, climate, LGBT. And none of these are required. You can submit this having only answered... Yeah, you can submit this having only answered one of them, or none of them, I guess. Okay, import questions, da-da-da, da-da-da. Okay, I think it's set. All right, here you go, chat. I'm going to put this in the main thing in the email. And I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes, and I'm going to look through these, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to skim through these. Have your answers in. Have your answers in. We're going to skim through these one at a time. I'm going to ignore the lower effort ones, of course, because we only have so much time. We're going to start with democracy. Okay. So we're gonna kind of skim a little bit. Okay. So well, chat. If I really like one, we'll see. You know, but as you can see, there are plenty here that we can safely skip. Okay, I'm giving you guys 1 more minute to turn these in, and then I'm cutting the responses so that these scroll down things don't keep resetting where I am. 30 seconds, 10 seconds. Oh shoot, we'll see if we see. All these are anonymous from my perspective. All right, we're done. Republicans think you're lazy, hypocritical looters who yell online but actually vote. Nope. Prove you aren't the lazy, hypocritical losers Republicans claim you are. Make them pay. Nope. Those are not. Democracy is burning. Remember, these messages have to include a call to vote. Republicans want to destroy democracy. The democracy our great nation was founded on. Let democrats protect America and its freedoms. That's more serviceable, but also rather generic. Isn't this just for general ideas? Shh. Republicans are literally fascists, want you and your friends dead. No. 4 years of constant blathering by Trump to erode fundamental tenets of democracy until they were left hanging by a thread. Too wordy. No. If you feel disregarded, then keep in mind that you are. You have a chance to keep fascists out of power by voting. Who would have thought? In Germany, they had to go the other route. No. Definitely too wordy, this one. Long life ahead of you in what could soon be the world's former freest country. In a few short days, you can have a say in maintaining control over your bodily autonomy, loving wherever you want, enjoying a living wage, not burning. You never vote Democrat, like your life depends on it, because it does. Too wordy, I'm afraid. These are so cute. You guys are so cute. Shu likes your guys's. Do you think politics is pointless? Because the Republicans trying to take your rights away. Sure hope you do. Will you use your vote to prove them wrong and protect democracy? That one's not too bad. That one's not too bad. Here, I'm going to add this to like the potentials, okay? Like as a template. Trump's backed a coup that was driven by hate. Make your voice heard before it is too late. Can we count your vote this November 8? Fuck you. Vaush bad. Republican parties made no effort to hide their hatred for rule of law and free elections. Will you pledge to vote this November to protect our freedoms? Keep the flame alive. If voting doesn't matter, why do Republicans keep trying to make it harder for you to vote? It's because they don't want you to be able to vote. Vote in November because it might be your last chance to. I actually really like this one. I think it needs a bit of touching up, but I think I like this one a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I like this one a lot. I'm going to finish reading all of them, but I'll be honest that I have a strong bias towards that one, I think. Have young voters stay home last election. Don't let your future be stolen by those that live in the past. Not voting definitely doesn't work. Let's try to do something this November. Don't let your future be stolen by those that live in the past. Nerdy. I mean, it's a bit, but I like it. Morphy Harper. Sorry, the average person has no fucking idea what Morphy Harper is. In the past, I've been told it's gay to vote. This election, I couldn't agree more. That's true. That's pretty true. In the past, I've been told it's gay, derogatory to vote, but now I understand that it's actually gay, positive to vote. View 167 more responses. Whoa! Oh, God. I'm so sorry. I didn't have a proper mental scale for this. I don't think Google Sheets is really equipped to handle lots of paragraph answers. Oh, fuck. Each of these boxes. Is there a way to auto reformat this? Jesus Christ. You can stretch them out. Do you really think I'm going to stretch out and reformat 263? Set them all to wrap? How do I view? How do I set wrap text? Format? Format text. No. Format wrapping. Overflow? Wrap? Okay. Oh, okay, I see. This is for all. Okay, I see. This is for all of the, and now we can see them grouped together like this. Okay. All right. It's a bit ugly, but I mean, it's fine. Here, let me spread out the, okay. So we're on the democracy side right now. Okay, woo. Now we can see where the sort of persistent brain damage in some of these, rows. Delete the troll ones as you go down. We only have so much time here, okay? Hold on. Okay, we did all that. How many people put horsecock? Listen, it's their thing, not mine. Need a mod to help with this? No, we're just reading. It's fine. It's the left, right here. Read. It's the left column right here. Democracy section. We can do that. We can follow. Move chat so we can read. You're so annoying. I'll just keep it up here in the top left. Move chat. Okay, hold on. There. Local Sentinel. Republicans are constantly fighting to attack and erode our democratic institutions and illegally overturn the results of our elections. The only way we can prevent this is by keeping them from gaining power in the midterms. Will you promise to vote in the midterms to protect our democracy? This, I feel, is like a very good boilerplate one. You know what I mean? Like this is like a very good, oh fuck. This is like a good like standard format, you know? I'll throw that in there. Yeah. Republicans dispute the legitimacy of Democratic elections that do not go in their favor. One of them, it's okay. We can't have room for a true left party till we get rid of the far right. We all need to vote blue until being Republican is a death sentence. No, thank you. Vote now while you still can. We have one that kind of hits that point. Republicans poison your families and communities with hateful lies. They mock you for being too lazy to even go out and vote against them. Are they right? Or will you prove them wrong and vote? I kind of like this, but I feel like it's a bit too overtly manipulative. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit like overtly abrasive, if that makes any sense. A little on the nose, yeah. Our democracy intact. The threat against democracy. We can allow it. Will you pledge to vote today? This feels like another really good, like, standard one. Oh, guys, I really want to read all these, but I'll literally be here. I was gonna end stream in 30 minutes. Fuck. Just read them all. There's over 1,000. Okay. Open one up and have your mods go through them? No, it's a stream thing, right? Do you believe in democracy? Do you believe in freedom, rights, and everything nice? Then vote Democrat. No democracy, no liberty. The problem is we need to get this stuff sent out like today because there's a time limit. Republicans are demons and want your blood. That's true. I think we can group these into themes, you know? And I don't think we're going to get one that's that much better than the if voting doesn't matter, why do Republicans keep trying to make it harder for you to vote? I feel like a refinement of that one would be the strongest iteration of this category. I will fuck your dad and take your blahash. Okay, yeah. No. Okay. The one that I like the most is right here. If voting doesn't matter, why do Republicans keep trying to make it harder for you to vote? Hey, that's mine. Really, Cryomancer Cat? Hold on. If voting doesn't matter, why do capital R Republicans? How about keep making it harder for you to vote? I don't think we need the sentence, it's because they don't want you to be able to vote, because that's implicit. But I think we should give, like, a list here. Like, why do Republicans keep making it harder for you to vote with their gerrymandering? No? Do you think it should just be kept like this? If voting doesn't matter, why do Republicans keep making it harder for you to vote? Throw in the future line. Okay. If voting doesn't matter, why do Republicans keep making it harder for you to vote? Vote in November. Okay, we can clean up the number of votes in there because it might be your last chance to. Don't let your future be stolen by those that live in the past. I think that's quite nice, really. If elections don't matter, why do Republicans? It's thematically different. Maybe you lose the message, but at the same time, isn't it like switch sentences 2 and 3? So how about that? Like, if elections don't matter, why do Republicans keep making it harder for you to vote? Don't let your future be stolen by those that live in the past. Vote in November because it might be your last chance to. Does that sound good? That doesn't flow really? I think it flows okay. Also, stream can't last forever. If elections don't matter, why do Republicans keep making it harder for you to vote? Don't let your future be stolen by those in the past. Vote in November. Do you think getting rid of the period and having a dash would be better? Like that? So that way there's a bit more cadence at the end. Get rid of because. Vote in November. Vote in November, comma, it might be your last chance. Okay, get rid of the because. How about that? Final iteration. Don't let your future be stolen by those that live in the past. Vote in November, it might be your last chance. Colon, not comma. I feel like a semicolon's kind of pretentious. It's like a rap. I'm gonna rap this. Okay. It's a bit pretentious. I'm leaving a comma. Sam can change it if he wants to. The message was better in its OG form. I like this. Okay, whatever. The dash is fucked. I like dashes. You know what? I'm putting in 2. Fuck you. All right. We'll go until we find one that really speaks to us. Okay? We're now on the abortion one, where people are going to take less seriously because Republicans want you dumb and full of cum, literally, and then they won't help you with your new family. That's true. Fuck, I wish we could go with that. Do you want 80-year-old men in the hospital making reproductive decisions for you? That's the future Republicans want. Vote Democrat to stop them. That's not bad, but I want to see if we can find something a bit more punchy. You want to live in America where 10-year-olds who have been raped, whose fetuses aren't even viable, are forced to give birth? This is totally true, but I think it might be too much for the kind of messaging that we're doing. It's kind of fucked up that Republicans are so bad that it's like not even politically viable to like point out how bad they are. You know what I mean? Homes aren't apartments, but if they were, you would at least have landlord rights. Horsecock. Republicans want to play with your pussy. That's true. I'm trying to see if I want to feel that punch. See, this is quite wordy. Just based on that, I don't know if it's viable. Much like the fetus and the 10-year-old earlier discussed. The Republican attack on abortion is symbolic of the party's larger and more insidious beliefs. Oh, hold on. We're not doing a essay intro here. Leftist meme? Yeah. I love my leftist meme chat. Don't let your rights be aborted. Make the right choice. Vote Dem. Honestly, don't let your rights be aborted isn't the worst. It's really punchy, obviously, and it instantly indicates what you're talking about without actually mentioning abortions. Actually, yeah, because it instantly signals what you're talking about. It makes abortion sound bad, though. Ooh, that is true, though, isn't it? Because, like, it's like, don't let your rights be aborted. Let the fetuses be aborted. Don't let Republicans abort your rights. Yeah. I wish I could work with that. If we're going to retake the rights to our bodies, we need a Democratic majority. Will you vote in November to stand up for reproductive rights? You do not own your mother's womb. Republicans would rather let their children starve than allow abortions. That's true. All these horsecock answers, I genuinely need to know. You guys know that you guys are like the equivalent of the homophobe who's always talking about gay guys and how gross gay guys are. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh, I hate them queers. Do you ever think of them sucking each other's dick? That's just crazy. I can't believe they do that. You know? And the gay guy looks and they're like, you think about gay sex more than I do. What do you like? Lefty memes. If Republicans get a Senate majority, they will eliminate the filibuster, ban abortion federally. Voters have no idea what this is. You've lost them. Safe, legal, protected. Punchy, but there's no way to follow this up with like, please go vote. You know what I mean? Republicans use a question mark. Wait, safe, legal, protected? Wait, keep it that way. Wait, safe, legal, protected? Keep it that way. Wait, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I'm going to go with it. Yeah, I like that. Because the whole point here is that we're trying to compete with traditional Democrat messaging, right? So we want to do that. Okay. We want to make sure that safe and legal are. Isn't the point that it won't be legal? Oh, wait, yeah, you're right. Wait. Safe, not if you don't vote. What about that? I feel like pretty much everyone would be able to get what this is referring to right away. Cuz like no? I kind of like it though. Only if you vote. I think the double negative is acceptable here, not if you don't vote. I think that's like a very easily parsable. Double negatives are bad. Really? I think that's an acceptable. What about rather than this? What if you say only if we fight for it, make a pledge to show up in November. Only if we fight for it, make a pledge to show up this November or something like that. What about that? Too long? That's pretty short, though. Like that? Safe, legal, protected? Only if we show up and fight for it. Make a pledge to vote this November. Only if we fight for it. Way too long? Way too long? It's less than a line! Don't say make a pledge, but Sam said make a pledge is good. Vote blue and keep the government out of your pussy. True. You're right. No, wait, you're right. The pledge thing doesn't work here because this is supposed to be really punchy. Wait! This November? Vote. Vote blue this November? I think this is good. What about colorblind people? Just add blue. I don't think we need to eat blue. I don't think we need to add blue, right? We kind of listen. I'm locking this in. Yeah, just vote Democrat on its own. This doesn't even direct the vote to Dems, but it's clear. So safe, legal, protected is the phrase that Planned Parenthood and stuff associates with abortions. Only if we fight for it this November vote. I feel like it's clear. Keep in mind, these are going to young left-leaning people. We're not hitting independents or like a mixed audience here. Our goal here is like something punchy to drive these people into action. Vaush's arrogance and rejection of his audience's suggestion is really cringe. The original message was better. Emma Gold, dude, you conceited fuck. I'm this. What do you mean? So I should just accept everything from the audience then, even the conflicting, mutually exclusive? Obviously, I have to curtail within them. How could I possibly accept every suggestion from the audience when they conflict with each other? This November horsecock, exactly. All right, we've got 3 more, and I'm hungry. I've got the hungies, okay? Are you American? Sensuous psychosis? When I hear safe, legal, protected, I immediately know what's being referred to. Okay. Start from the bottom this time? Ooh, good point. Okay, this time, we're starting from the bottom. Now we hear. Conservatives want to change the laws of their business, make more money while hurting your pay. No. The goal is to cancel all student debt. It's clearly not. Clearly the profits of big-ass companies have been more important than the wealth havers, right? Nope. Who is responsible for inflation? Did Joe Biden push the inflation levers? No, we need it needs to be strong, punchy, and directed at people's immediate interests. Why can't you afford rent? Why can't you get a good job? Why is everything falling apart around you? Despite rising cost of living, widening social income gaps, Republicans want to take away Social Security the common worker has. No. 2. Damn near every president has driven up the national debt. No. This one just says Fernando. Over the past 2 years, Republicans have stonewalled and weakened vital bills to improve our economy. No, it can't be abstractions. It can't. It has to be. It has to be directly relatable. Think about it. Can you imagine a better audience for economic populism than young Americans? Considering that like young Americans have like fucking 0.5% of the country's wealth. You know, like nobody can afford rent. Well, sure, Driss, but let's find the best shit to throw. We've had decades since Reagan. It's the same every time. Nobody this age group knows who Reagan is. We won't be servants for the 1%. Honestly, the main problem here is that the 1% rhetoric is outdated. This is an Occupy Wall Street thing, and that was like 2011 or 9 or so. I forget. It was Bernie's thing, though. Who's Bernie? 2011 is not ancient history, lol. To some of these people, it is. Imagine the burden off your back. You didn't have to worry about college debt payments. Imagine where a free college works. It doesn't directly tie in enough. Workers are struggling as inflation hurts the wallet and wages stay stagnant. At the same time, corporations have had record profits. In response, Republicans, it's too wordy. Too conceptual. Too conceptual. Occupy Wall Street was when the left was cool, though. Yeah, shoot. The problem, like, Occupy Wall Street ended up being the biggest fucking failure in the universe because not only did nothing happen, and not only did it just, like, it wasn't directed enough to really garner much national attention outside of people sort of going like, look at these lazy bums who are mad at the status quo, you know, like it didn't really go beyond that. But it also gave a bunch of terrible people populist like credentials, you know what I mean? Like if you go back, if you look at a bunch of the like dark enlightenment or like intellectual dark web or just like I'm totally a liberal and this is why I support Trump type guys, a ton of them were associated with Occupy Wall Street because it was so non-specific and vague that any fucking dipshit could hitch a wagon to it. It was Tim Tool being a big one there, yeah. Get up, work, go back to sleep. Get up, work, go back to sleep. Get up, work, go back to sleep. Wouldn't you like to break the cycle? Imagine a world where you're able to fight for better wages, maybe have the time money to take a cutie out for a nice date. Vote Dem. Honestly, this is the best one I've seen thus far. I feel like this could be trimmed, like not in its current state, but there's like a you know, there's a statue in this marble block. You got to be shitting me, Vaush. No, because like you guys realize that like basically everyone who isn't older than 40, like in their brain nonstop is like the Wagey Cagey song being sung by the Peepo Nugget. Like, hold on, where's that meme? Yeah, this is like this lives rent free in the head of all working people under 40 right now. Wagey, get in cagey. All day long you sweat and ragey. Neat is comfy, neat is cool. Neat is free from work and school. Wagey trapped and wagey dies. Neat eats tendies, sauce, and fries. Um, this is the this is the theme that I want. Just use that. just just text this image to people and be like, yeah, vote Dem. Put this on flyers with vote. Honest to God, that's not the worst idea. What's neat? It means no employment, education, or training. It basically means you're not doing anything with your life. It's really not a fair insult. Well, in this, it's not an insult. They're reclaiming it. But anyway. Okay, we're keeping that template for now. There are two ways to design an economy: from the ground up for people, from the top down for corporations. Vote blue this November. That's not bad. That's not bad, but I want to stick with this kind of theme. I want the wagey cagey theme. So we're gonna look for stuff that's directly appealing to economic anxiety. You know? Yeah, it doesn't work with blue either because Democrats also build the economy from the top down, you know? People say Republicans are better with the economy by default. Guy, this one person is like a lefty meme generator right here. In the LGBT section, it opens, regardless of how you feel about a given group of people, they should be entitled to the same human rights as I love you. I hope you know that. Brevity is definitely the name of the game in this particular field. However, I agree with everything that you've said here, and I love you. Fuck, I didn't know how long you wanted. Driss01, is this you? I love you. Haver, thank you for the $50. I'll check donos out after we're done with this. I have to be we have to speed it along. We have to speed it along. Dems are pretty weak in the economy, so I don't know. True. Nobody said this would be easy. This person just linked the document. Republicans are fighting tooth and nail against student debt relief. Really makes you think. Pledge to vote on November and support the party fighting for student debt relief. Wake up. Work. Sleep. Low wages. Check TV. 2 candidates. Republican wants no student debt relief. Calls indebted people lazy. Is there something here? Is there something something about the debt? Something. Let's use a screenshot of that Republican guy saying abolishing student debt's bad for the military industrial complex. Yeah, that's true. Wait, could we just use that? Like, fucking Republicans want you to stay in, want you to keep your student debt so they can shore up their lowering recruitment numbers. That honestly, that's so dystopian that it might legitimately, if phrased well. Shut the fuck up, Shu. Nobody can afford rent. Nobody can afford groceries. On TV, Republicans fight against student debt relief. They call you lazy. Are you? Show up and vote. Something like that? No. Nobody can afford more Republicans in power. So do you think something like nobody can afford rent, nobody can afford groceries, Republicans fight student debt relief, nobody can afford another Republican. Vote this November. Yeah, wait. Hold up. Hold on. What would it be? Nobody can afford Republican leadership. I like that on the television. Okay. What about this election cycle? Like that? Nobody can afford rent. Nobody can afford groceries. This election cycle, Republicans are arguing against student debt relief. Nobody can afford Republican leadership. Vote. No cycle? Okay. This election. Remove sentence 3 for more punch. No, I think we need the third sentence to indicate why they're impugning them as relevant. Nobody can afford rent. Nobody can afford groceries. This election, Republicans are arguing against student debt relief. We can't instead of no one can, but nobody can is an echo of the first two sentences. Wait, this election, Republicans are fighting to block student debt relief. That sounds better. Nobody can afford rent. Nobody can afford groceries. This election, Republicans are fighting to block student debt relief. Nobody can afford Republican leadership. Vote. We can't on all three of them. Oh, Shu's right. Do you think we should say are fighting to block student debt relief and higher minimum wage? And a higher minimum wage. I like that. I don't think it's too complicated. I don't think it's too complicated. Nobody can afford rent. Nobody can afford groceries. You think it'd be better if we said we can't? We can't afford rent. We can't afford groceries. This election, Republicans are fighting to block student debt relief and higher minimum wage. We can't afford Republican leadership. Yeah, I like this. Oh, fighting to block student debt relief and a livable wage? You're right, that sounds better. And a livable wage. There we go. That has to be it. I think that's the best iteration of this format right here. Fuck, I'm so hungry. We're already over time. Americans can't afford? Oh, do you think... Ooh, okay, wait. Americans might be better than we. Do you think Americans can't afford rent? Americans can't afford groceries? Americans can't afford Republican leadership? We might be Democrats? Chat seems split on that. We is better, you're talking to Americans. I think I'm going to go with we here because we're talking to young Americans, and I'm hoping that they'll get the hashtag relatable. Okay, we need to get through this. Yeah, we is ambiguous as well because we could mean young people, we could mean Americans, or we could mean the working class. We is kind of necessarily ambiguous in the same way that they is. But whereas they is necessarily exclusionary, it ostracizes and identifies an external group, we is unifying by definition. Just pop another Adderall? I can't. There's an Adderall shortage. I'm not going to have it for months. Okay. Holy fuck, I'm so fucking hungry. Okay. We're going from the bottom on climate now. Oh yeah, Canoe, if you're still watching, do you think you could preheat the oven and start the process? I probably shouldn't do this. It will stretch out everything really far. Yeah. Okay. Climate. Oil companies have paid off conservative support policies which destroy our world's climate. Prepare for it. Too wordy. The weather isn't here to play the fuck around now. What first made America great? It was our visionary risks and novel technology. Nope. The opportunity for us to do something about climate change is passing. Republican policy speed of the process. You're on the 45-year likelihood of effects. But like, fine. This is good, but fairly standard, I think. Emphasize the billion-year process of evolution and mass extinction. Inspire horror. People don't care about practical. Okay. Inspire horror. Will kill you less. Republicans have traded our friends, families, and children's future for crumbs of cash as rich billionaires get fatter. Don't burn the earth. We live on earth, you idiot. Climate change ravaging the planet so big's the question. Is it moral to subject our children to such a future? No. Earth is a remarkable place, planet. You've seen the fires and the floods. Nope. We will be the fire extinguisher of the world. Experiencing major shifts in our weather and land. Nope. Too early. Big oil has lobbied for less green energy sources, but nope. Free Obama phones. That's true. Climate change is coming. The stakes have never been higher, and signs are all around us, and the Republicans are only exasperating. I assume you mean exaggerating? Exacerbating the harm? Yeah. No. Horsecock. True. The future of the human race in jeopardy. Democrats have passed the largest investment in green energy ever. And though it's not enough, Republicans, nah, doesn't inspire enough. Energy. Fight it even though we're going to die anyway. Change is coming. Make sure it's the change you want. Ooh, we're getting a lot of really wordy answers in this one. Tomato soup. You know, it would be a good line. Did you have dreams about your future before you learned about climate change? What about did you have dreams of the future before you learned about climate change? There's still time. Vote blue, vote against the oil companies, something like that. What about like it's not too late? Did you have dreams of the future? I'm just gonna write this down, just like a basic. I feel like there's something there. We'll see. We'll see. That's true, Talk Apocalypse. Drinking out of a paper straw is not enough. Shoot, I have never actually drank out of a paper straw once in my life, but if I ever had to, I would immediately vote Republican. I would instantly, like in that moment. I can't believe they actually tried to, like, do you have any idea how little straws account for the, like, fossil fuel consumption of our species? Like, can you even begin to fathom the tiny infant, like the unfathomable? This would be like the government issuing paper condoms because like latex condoms are oil derivatives. I'm thinking working, dude. Is this too short? We once saw the stars, now we'll see fire. Vote Democrats, fight to see the next fight. Man, that sounds like the shit that you'd hear in like the opening cutscene of an RPG, with to see like a battlefield or something. You know what I mean? Like, once we saw the stars, now we only see fire. Vote Democrats? I don't know how that part fits in. Um, it's so dramatic. But as a homosexual, I appreciate it. Winter isn't coming. Soy. The climate change is right behind me, isn't it? Awkward. World ends. Well, that just happened. Oh my god. We didn't even get to this one in the abortion one. As young people in the United States, many of us have been taught a simplistic idea of social progress. This is an idea passed down to us through School of US history as a linear process through problematic beginnings for, didn't get the template, the format. Should have set a word limit. Has paragraphs. Full score on 7 years ago. Oh, Canoe. Can you preheat the oven? 440. I like it toasty. Republicans don't care who dies from climate change as long as they continue lining their pockets. There's still time to stand up to them, their oil and gas cronies. This video is with that actor. They talk about your debate with Young Brooks. Why is my auto pause not on? Huh. Weird. Maybe I'll debate him sometime. That'd be fun. True, Shu. Yeah, what's really funny is that all the guys who call themselves tradition, like, you cannot be socially conservative or traditional or like anything like that unless you're a radical climate activist, because all of the physical conditions that allow for quote unquote traditional living are being destroyed right now. You like try living traditionally in fucking Pakistan where a third of the country is underwater from typhoons or shit, you know? Um Also, like, fossil fuel processing is like literally the foundation of modernity. Coal engines, steam engines using coal, like that is literally the modernity. Like .jpg. That is the thing. I really think something could be done with this. Did you dream about your future before you learned about climate change? It's not too late. Go vote, or please vote, and not for the party owned by oil billionaires. Doesn't that sound nice? Please vote and not for the party owned by oil billionaires. How is this worse than my Stars one? I liked your Stars one, Quoteth. There is still a future, but you'll have to fight for it. Corporations call it an externality. You call it Earth. That's good, but it doesn't really tie to Democrats that well. Criminal 170 posting. True shoe. The world is on fire and gasoline wants to pour, or Republicans want to pour gasoline on it. I'm sorry, I'm tired. I'm tired. We have to work with this. Hold on. Let's optimize this one. Oh, you saw yours? Wait, was yours here? Which one's yours? It has to be this one. No. She was like, oh, I saw mine, and it's 5 horsecocks. God damn it, I'm so hungry. Hold on. It's right there? Ah. Oh, it says shoe! Gay and trans rights are human right, and I just heard Vaush say I would be terrible in electoral politics, so I'm done. Wow. Oh, I should have known this was you, because it fucking talks about paper straws. True. The Republican Party somehow convinced hundreds of people to invade the Capitol over some game show host billionaires' hurt feelings. The Republican Party can't accept the fact they're unlikable and haven't won a popular vote since the 80s. True! So fucking true. But it's not making me any less goddamn hungry. What iterations can we make to this to improve it? Shorten it? It's already pretty damn short. Unlike past generations, a future won't be given to us. We'll have to fight for it. I like that a lot. It's a little bit longer, but I think it's a lot better. But if it's present tense that I can't add the before you learned about climate change, Superjet guy. We'll have to fight for one. Yeah. That's true, Shu. It's a very nice quote. I'm too hungry. We have to move through this quickly or I'm gonna fucking die. I'm gonna break diet today. Holy shit, I want to break diet so fucking badly. We never learned about climate change. We grew up with it? I guess. Could you just take a snack break? No, I'm not like that. Wait, maybe I should just order food. Fuck, I just want to order food, kind of. Canoe? Canoe? Conyer! Oh, you're right. You're in chat. Hi. Can you actually turn off the oven? I think I'm just going to order some food when stream is done. Thank you. Sorry. I'll get you some too. Okay. I can hear them laughing downstairs. They're selling cleaner. Yeah, hold on. The microclimate. Yeah. Vote blue. So you don't have to do this thing or whatever. Listen, there is exactly one thing that I will say to the credit of this mask, and that it could look a lot worse. It is conceptually horrifying, and I despise it, and I would ruthlessly mock anyone who I saw wearing it, but it doesn't look that bad for what it is. Listen to all this stuff that it has. 4 HEPA filters, a fabric scarf, 8 hours of battery life on low, twin tri-speed fans, 6 USB-C cables with a magnetic adapter included for charging, and a carrying case. Fuck, man, would I get this? Like, I don't know. I don't want to think about it. What if you sneeze? Oh, yeah, you're fucked. Also, hey, maybe this would keep me from picking at my beard. What is it even for? It's a kink thing. The dom pees into the funnel tube at the back of the head, and it fills up slowly. The beard cone of shame, true. What if your face gets itchy? You die. Wait a second, though. Hold on. Hey, you get to headbutt people. Okay, stop. We have one more to go. One where I already have an answer, but obviously we're undoing that because we're. I'm Staduda, I saw. I just can't respond to everyone. It's a good kick. I just have to, What Vaush know I like that one? Do you guys just like. I feel like mine is so normy, though. I feel like I'm getting way more out of reading your guys's, even if I'm just using it for inspiration, right? Like, even if we, guys, just so you know, even if we're not using yours, like, I'm learning a lot from going over them. So I appreciate that. Yeah, it's called workshopping. Okay, so now the LGBT. You think you're safe? They're just practicing on us? The Institute of Sexual Studies, one of the first book burnings done by the Nazis? True. Love is good, actually. Vote for good, actually. I actually don't mind that so much. I feel like there's kind of I kind of feel like rhetorically speaking, there's refuge in simplicity, right? Like the fascists over at the Republican Party have to spend all this time trying to like logic puzzle their way into explaining how actually it's bad for like two dudes to be with each other minding their own business, you know? They have to be like, oh, well, if you look at this data we don't have but promise exists, then it's harmful to society. It's harmful because the evidence that we don't have shows that we don't. Blah, blah, blah. And then you can just be like, oh, I think actually loving people is good, you know? And I think it's okay to rebuke them with that because you don't always have to dignify like insane schizoid reactionary politics with a full answer. True, Emma, but I feel like we're doing good to appeal to normies here, but it's got to be punchy. The Nazis added them to the fires of the Holocaust. That's certainly punchy. Keep America fruity. Anyone is better than literal Nazis. Here we have a lefty meme. The lefty meme, even. Proteth, I get that, but to be honest, punchy messaging is insanely difficult. I'm trying to see something that just inspires me, something that really gives me that kick. Too damn long. Republicans talk about LGBT people the same way Nazis talked about Jewish people. To an extent, this is true, but it's such a loaded statement that it would require more justification than we can provide in this format. Yeah, it's true, Shoot. Well, it's because they appeal to fear, right? I mean, the easiest political impulse to appeal to is fear. You can, I mean, right there, they're coming. It just sort of sums it all up, doesn't it? But it's difficult to get that messaging across in a more constructive way. I'm seeing a lot of like factual descriptions of how Republicans are bigoted, which are true. But I'm not seeing that emotional through line. You know, it's kind of like what they did with the like AIDS awareness stuff. It's like look left, look right. Like, will everyone still be around in 10 years? Like that kind of thing. Like, do you have a gay friend? Do you have a trans friend? You know, you will see their rights taken from them. Vote Democrat to force feminize them. Republicans want people of the queer community to be erased because they're degenerate or because it's unnatural. Queer people are never going away, but we can make Republican power go away. There's something workable here. Are you trans? Did you know you have rights, Saul Goodman? True. Yeah, Saul Goodman. Saul Goodman, honestly, the entire Breaking Bad universe is a trans ally. I like how everyone just collectively decided out of nowhere that Jesse Pinkman is trans mask, and no one questioned this. And it's, you know, yeah, they say he has a T-boy swag. He wears hoodies in the desert. True. I fully support the adoption of Jesse Pinkman as the T-boy swag poster child for the trans mask community. I mean, trans women have so many icons. Oh well, Heil Hitler, bitch. Yeah. Um. Do you want to die horribly in a federally mandated death camp? Maybe. Your shoe. Sorry, AT5D2 Derek. We already parsed that idea. We already worked by. Don't allow Republicans to threaten members of our community. The right to gay marriage was given only a few years ago. It can be taken away. Don't allow it to happen. I think working with this might actually be a decent idea, you know? Every single Republican, federal and state party has removing gay marriage as part of their platform. I'll hold on to this for just a sec. We're having a harder time finding viable ones here. Hi, Merrick. Fuck you, fuck me, fuck them. You should be able to consensually fuck anyone you want. October 30th, go vote to keep fucking free. That's true. The Republican Party wants to sanction your gay and trans friends as criminals and pedophiles. Don't let the people you love get hurt. That sounds ridiculous, but literally. You notice how a lot of the messages over here in the LGBT section have been longer? I think that's because there's a temptation, because Republicans are so overwhelmingly bigoted in this respect, that there's a temptation to type it all out, you know? There's a temptation to like, oh, well, let's list it through. And I think that actually makes it more difficult to come up with a slogan that encapsulates the severity of this issue while also being punchy. Higher carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is irreversible climate change with problems will come. You know what I should play later today? BioShock 2. I've never played BioShock 2. BioShock stream? I didn't say stream. Are you still doing CRPGs? No, I've been bumping around. Republicans think gay sex laws are on the table. How private do you think your internet history is? No chance AT5D2 did, Eric. This is hard. Are any of you guys seeing something that really captures your imagination? I think the most we're going to get is from something like this. The right to gay marriage was given only a few years ago. Trans people started coming out of the closet only a few years ago. Well, that's not true, but mostly. Don't vote me back into the closet. Damn. What about that? Like, don't vote me back into the closet. Something like that. Yeah. What about a direct comparison to miscegenation and how we generally look back on that with saying, do you mean Jim Crow, segregation? In 10 years, how will you look back on the time before they were voted back into the closet? The party of family hates their kids, we don't, vote Democrat. That could be good. When the Republicans send them back into the closet. Yeah. What will your friends say when the Republicans send them back into the closet? Okay, wait. If the Republicans get what they're fighting for, will someone you know be sent back into the closet? Will you? Emma, that's difficult. Maybe, Shu. I don't know how much people care about that stuff. I don't... I'm too hungry to think. Nope, I'm too hungry. I'm submitting it. Fuck all of you. The country can burn for all I care as long as I get my goddamn chicken nuggies. Confirmed. Confirmed. I'm hungry. Howdy.
Vaush, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. And for your audience, since last few times it's been awkward, I didn't introduce myself immediately. Hey, everybody. I'm Sam. I'm the project director at Progressive Victory 2022, who's been working with Vaush. And I'm here to talk about the results of a message test that we did last week.
Yeah, so for those of you who weren't present, we came up via sort of crowdsourcing with some campaign messages. And Sam went ahead and tested them to see how they did against more conventional messages.
Vaush, did you want to bring up that PDF that I sent you as a visual aid for the people on stream, or do you want to just talk it over audio?
Yeah, let me pop it up. Hold on.
Very excited about these results, by the way. I don't know if you taken a look. I think I saw you looked very briefly, but 2 of your messages did extremely well, and there are some other key learnings here I think that is worth discussing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, here, hold on. Rapid message test results. Co-op ages young. Get out the vote messaging. Experiment background. Okay.
Okay, so do you have it up on screen so your audience?
Yeah, I got it up. Yeah.
All right, cool. So as you can see, our sample size here is 3,600 people, and it's all the entire sample is people 18 to 34. So no one 35 or older in the sample, but everyone is of eligible voting age, and they're all Americans. And you can see here the different messages that they were hit with. These generic ones, A, B, and C, are the ones that I wrote that were just meant to reflect the general messaging that you see and hear out of the Democratic Party these days around the election. And then there are 5 all the way down underneath them that are the ones that you and your audience came up with. And then if you go to the second page, you can see there's also a placebo. This is one that a certain segment of the sample saw that is meant to just be a literal nothing message. It's about Morton Salt.
Which we all love, of course.
Of course. And look, if I saw a message about Morton Salt, I would definitely start voting for Democrats immediately. But you know, I'm biased as a Democrat. So, all right. So you can see what we did here is we tested people by, first we would give them how likely are you to vote in the November 2022 elections. Then we'd give them a message to look at, and then afterward, after seeing that message, we would ask them again the same exact question to see if they answered any differently.
Right. It's it's a very simple template for determining the effectiveness of some kind of slogan. It's like advertising, right? How likely are you to recommend this product to your friends and family?
Exactly. And because the sample size is 3,600 and we oversampled a little bit on some of the subgroups, we're going to be able to make statistically significant observations about some subgroups, including age and race and stuff like that. So if you scroll down, and there are a lot of, you know, sort of interesting observations here, but the top ones I think are the most easy thing to look at. So
let's see. Avoid sending Vaush's LGBT proposal to these groups: Latino people and suburbanites. God damn, throwing heavy hitters out here.
I know. The LGBT one was interesting. It was helpful with some people, and then others it was not helpful.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you're working with like raw demographic data like this, you're going to try to shoot your shot as you know, as reliably as you can.
Right.
Let me see.
But if you go to page 5.
Page 5. Oh, skipping ahead. Okay. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I mean,
page 5 skips the first chart.
Oh, does it? Hold on.
Oh, no, it is. No, you're right. Page 5. Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, page 5. And you can see this. These are generally the groups that we're looking at, right? And you can see that people are likely to vote at, you know, approximately the same amounts in the different sample subgroups. You can see each of them have about 400 people in these subgroups.
Right.
And then they were also asked, in addition to that, how likely are you to talk to your friends or family about the importance of voting? So that's sort of like another level. So if you go to page 6, you can see people were asked, how likely are you to talk to your friends and family about the importance of voting? And that's another level of intensity of vote, desire to vote.
So to parse this for the audience right here, really quick.
Yeah.
So in the bar graph that we have here, the first one is the placebo. And then the next 3 are sort of like generic statements, like
the ones that Democrats use.
Right, the Democrat used ones. And then the remaining 5 are the ones that we came up with, which means that here in how likely are you to vote in the November 2020 election, the highest one is the abortion one that we came up with. It beat out the highest performing Democrat statement.
That is correct.
And down here, we have 2 that beat out any other. The abortion and the inflation/econ statements rank the highest for how likely are you to talk to your friends and or family about the importance of voting in the November 2022 election.
That's correct.
Which is pretty good.
That's right, and it's not by much, right? But I think you'll see when you see the swings, it's actually more impressive because what's really important is measuring the difference between before and after. And if you go to, hold on, if you go to the subgroups here,
Right, I see gender, race.
exactly, that the the abortion message actually is most effective. If you go to page 7, abortion message is actually most effective with men, surprisingly enough.
Wow, white knights, huh?
Well, but the interesting
That was a
thing
joke.
here,
Joke.
no, I mean, but it's really interesting, right? Because I think Democrats have just assumed they that they need to talk to women about these issues, right? But you and your audience have come up with, I don't know how it's different than it. I mean, it's different than if you look at, hold on, the generic B, which is Roe. Your abortion message did much better, did 10% better than the generic abortion
That's dope.
message
Wait, let me see. Hold
with
on.
men.
Yeah,
So
with
you and your audience have come up with a message that works for men on choice issues.
so the generic one is the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, eliminating the constitutional right to abortions and putting our reproductive freedom at risk. Who we elect matters, and our right to choose depends on voting in the 2022 midterm elections. And we need to remember that in the voting booth on Election Day, November 8th. And ours was safe, legal, protected, only if we fight for it. This November, we need to remember that in the voting booth. God
Yeah,
damn, that's like a third the length, too. So the efficiency, it's at per word, the voter power per word.
absolutely. And look, it's true that I wrote the first one, but I wrote it based on what you hear the Democrats
No, no,
say.
no. Yeah, that sounds like a
That's
fairly standard, yeah, like Democrat
you
messaging.
could imagine that coming out of Chuck Schumer's mouth, right? But you're right. What you wrote, first of all, it has it's more confrontational language, is my observation,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like
Well,
not unless we fight for it.
yeah.
And
Well,
and
I
yes,
think
it's much more efficient.
it's punchier. Yeah, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Um, what do we have here? The LGBT one we wrote does not seem to be exceptionally popular.
No. However, there's one thing you should note. Um, if you look at under the black subgroup, the inflation and economic message
Man,
that you all
we
wrote.
killed it there. God damn.
Yes, yes, and that was one of the
81.
main messages that the testing company sent back to me, is that message specifically with young black people is like a killer.
God damn, that's wait, hold on. Because I don't remember any of these, because I have the memory of a goldfish. Um, we can't afford rent, we can't afford groceries. This election, Republicans are fighting to block student debt relief and a livable wage. We can't afford Republican leadership. That's why we need to vote. That one slaps. That was a good one. I'm glad that did well.
Yeah,
Whew. Okay, so there's a lot more down here. Hold on.
yeah. There's a lot more subgroups. It's divided out by education, income, and ideology. So we included conservatives in the sample to see what would you know if conservatives saw these, would it like make them more likely to vote as well against us?
I'm linking the thing to the to chat. No reason not to, I guess. Oh wait, never mind. It's a download. I would be linking you my
Yeah,
file
it's a download.
directly.
You just need to show your screen.
Losers. Okay. So for high school or less, our abortion message came out on top. For some college, the generic A democracy message came out on top. But for bachelor's degree or higher, um, in addition to everyone generally being more amped up to vote, so the higher the education, the more likely they are to vote, which tracks.
Mm-hmm.
We did really well there. 90% on the abortion one, 87
Yes,
on the threat to democracy and the climate change ones. Whew.
and this isn't coming through in this PDF that I sent to you. For some reason, it didn't come through. But in the back end of the testing tool, it's important to note that two of yours did exceptionally well with all subgroups, right? And moved them a lot. The one was your Vaush threat to democracy, and the other one was your Vaush abortion one. Those two, both of them, if you subtract the number of people who said they were likely to vote at the beginning before they saw a message from the people who said they would at the end, right? So you can see how many people decided to vote based on they were planning not to vote, and then after viewing your message, they decided to vote. Both of those moved 7% of the sample.
That's fantastic. I'm looking
Right.
at the political ideology breakdown right now, and the conservative one, they for some reason they're very highly motivated by the climate change thing. I'm not sure why that would be, considering conservatives' perspective on that particular issue.
Well, maybe it's like a backlash. Maybe seeing our message motivates them to vote and vote against Democrats.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yes, the anti-meme. Yes, of course. That could absolutely be it. Let me check what my climate change message was again, or what ours was, because chat came up with them really. Did you dream about your future before you learned about climate change? Unlike past generations, a future won't be given to us. We'll have to fight for one. Voting is the first commitment we can make in that fight. That still slaps. That's a banger right there. It's a banger meme. Political ideology. There we go. For Democrat, we have the highest here on the threat to democracy and abortion. God damn, this is so cool. I can't believe this can be done so quickly.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and you know what we're planning on doing. We're gonna get you, Vaush, and a couple other streamers to record your most successful messages as ads, as 30-second ads, and then we're gonna test those ads.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can do that tomorrow or later today. What's the time scale? I guess we're really up against the midterms right now.
Basically anytime you're able to do it, I will make the time.
I'll try to get it
done. But we could talk about that later. I think the important part now is just realizing that you and your audience have come up with messages that at least match up with, and in some cases outperform the generic Democratic message.
Yeah, that's I did not expect that to happen. I expected to be disappointed. By the, just like for the boilerplate shit to win. I'm really happy it turned out this way.
Well, I do think that there's something to be said for, first of all, this is a young audience, and this was, all these messages, even the ones developed for young people by Democrats, are usually developed by older people, right? And then they'll focus group them with younger people. But it's a whole other thing to have a couple thousand people come up with messages that they think would appeal to people like them, and then to have someone who, like you, Vaush, who can drill, funnel out the good ideas from all of the ideas that were suggested, and refine them into succinct messages that can be tested. And I think that there's a model here to be followed for the future, and a way to include people in their own message development of the messages that they will see later on. I think that creates trust, and I think it can be a really important component of political messaging.
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy. I love being hip and happening. I love speaking to the youths about how wiggity whack climate change is.
Well, there's one more thing that I want to say, which I found really interesting here.
Yeah, I'm just reading through all the pretty graphs. Yeah.
This is not even about the messages themselves. This is about one specific subgroup. So in this survey, we had a bunch of demographic questions that are pretty standard in any poll, right? Like race, age, education, whether you live in a city or a rural area, etc., right? We also added one custom question, which is whether or not the people who are responding to the survey are regular watchers of YouTube or Twitch stream creators.
It's a dangerous demographic right there.
I know, right? But what we found is that by maybe 12 to 14%, YouTuber and streamer audience members are more likely to be politically engaged and more likely to vote.
Period. By in general, or by
in general
our messages? Okay, gotcha.
In general, which means that this is a really important group for political marketers to be pursuing.
What is this bit at the end here? We estimate that you can persuade about 734 people for every $10,000 spent on digital ads if you sent Vaush abortion to everyone in your audience. If you instead randomly selected one message per individual and sent them that message, we estimate you would persuade only 312 people for the same amount of money. Using the best message would increase your impact by approximately 422 people, or 135%. We're confident that this best message is more effective than a placebo at moving your audience towards responding very likely or likely towards your outcome question.
Right. They're making inferences about statistical likelihood of whether this is just noise or whether we can trust that beyond a shadow of a doubt, seeing this message makes an impact on people's vote choice. And so what they're saying is, compared to a placebo, statistically, based on the sample size, that they're with 95% confidence certain that it moves people more effectively than just seeing a placebo message.
How,
right? Which means that for every dollar that you spend, you're going to persuade more people using that message than you would any other generic message.
Yeah, you can persuade even more people by targeting specific groups your messages are most effective with. For example, we estimate you can persuade 1,709 people for every 10,000 spent if you sent Vaush abortion to ruralites, the group where your test found the biggest impact. Huh.
That's true. And that's not something I brought up, but I did see that. Apparently, these messages are super effective with rural young people.
Do you think that's a blowback? Like it's like these rural people see these pro-abortion rights messages and they're like, God damn, gotta
no
get the reds.
I think that a lot of young people living in rural states are pro-abortion, pro-choice.
Well, the Kansas referendum recently
exactly
totally backfired on the Republicans.
Exactly. I think that there are a lot of people in rural areas who are young and isolated, and they're finding connections with people who feel like them online. And they're currently an untapped resource.
How much did it cost to do this?
I think we spent. I think it was like $600 per credit, and then the credits were. I think it was 2 credits per message we spent. I don't quote me on that. I have to go back and look to see. But it was, the answer is more than you would want to spend just as a consumer, but not so much that someone who's running a political program can't afford to do it pretty easily.
Right. Not so much a basement experiment, more quite valuable on a large scale.
Right. Exactly.
This is okay, so you want to record ads. Where are you going to put those?
So we're going to test them. Basically, we're going to do the same process that we did right here with video ads. So instead of seeing the text that you came up with, now that we know which text messages were the most effective, we're going to record you and other streamers saying expanded versions of those messages directly to the camera on video. And we're going to see if those are even more effective. Because usually when it's delivered by a messenger, it's more effective in video content than it is just seeing it in text, of course, right?
Yeah,
it's more compelling content.
And I want to be clear to the audience, okay? The reason we're going over this isn't just to stroke ourselves off about how great our political messaging is. The reason is that the whole point of PV22, the whole point of all of this, is that the left and Democrats are terrible at utilizing modern media to serve their political interests. Republicans are great at it. They have fully integrated networks from the top down, bottom up, of at every level. Like, yeah, money will be backed to ensure that our message gets out there. Not so for the left, because Democrats, every single Democrat elected official is 85 years old. They don't know how to use emails. It's a mess.
Yeah, so, just think about how when you're on YouTube and you're just like trying to watch videos, and think about how often you see a PragerU video just pop up in your feed.
Constantly. Yeah.
Right. It's because they're pumping money into it.
There's no equivalent to that.
None.
You have Diane, like Pelosi or Feinstein or something, like over here, like, oh, what, internet ads? The internet? Yeah. How could you even fit an ad on those floppy disks? You know, what? No. So the whole point is like what impact can be drawn from this. And I think it goes a long way towards demonstrating the viability and legitimacy of Progressive Victory 2022. not only is it just getting people out there to canvass and such, it's also like, yeah, here's mathematical proof that this is an extremely cost-effective way of boosting a campaign with messaging like this. And that's a very significant
Yes.
yeah,
I
message.
would put a little more nuance on what you're saying.
Please.
You're broadly correct. Just to be clear, though, there are a lot of people in the Democratic Party who work as professionals who understand how important digital media is. They just haven't won the argument in these back rooms about where the resources go yet. And so we need evidence that we can take into those rooms and say, this strategy isn't working. The current strategy of TV ads, spending 80% of your budget on TV ads, is not working anymore. And what we need to do is we need to bring in currently untapped resources and networks that are not part of our operation, and bring them into our strategy. And then we need to put resources behind reaching the audiences of those people and integrating them into the political operation of the progressive movement. And all that these people are going to ask for in return is that you run effective campaigns and that you consider their agenda when you're legislating after you win power. And that is how politics is done. And it is inevitable that we win this fight. The only question is, how many times are the Democrats going to lose before finally we win this internal fight in the party?
Yeah, it's it is a mathematical inevitability because anybody in government right now who's 40 or under has to know how a computer works. You can't grow up these days without knowing how a computer
Right.
works. But older than that, maybe 45 or older. I don't, it varies. But um, it's the aversion. I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to arrogance, frankly, because for a long time now, the conservatives in this country have been losing. Because like
Mm-hmm.
you have Reagan who deregulated everything, and that's a victory for the corporations. But the people of the Conservative Party are motivated primarily by racism. Historically, in America, the thrust of conservative social and political movements has been about racial tension, gender stuff, sometimes feminism, culture war, whatever. But broadly, it's about reactionary politics. And in that sense, the right has been losing since the 1960s very consistently. The civil rights movement, second wave feminist movement, normalization of gay marriage, like in every step. And as a product of this, I think that the right in this country, they're not that arrogant, even if they appear that way. They're actually very diligent and hardworking when it comes to spreading the misinformation they need to attain power. Whereas the Democrats, you have all these dinosaurs in Congress um, who have more or less been the political hegemon. Even when people like Bush were in power, that didn't really come at the cost of people like Feinstein or whatever. Everyone voted for the Iraq War. The ideological differences there were paltry compared to what we see today. So I think they mostly got complacent, the Clinton
I would
crowds.
I would agree with you, but I think that there's more to it than that, right? Like I think it even goes further. I think that the Democrats have been losing for a long time, but they've been losing on the grounds of the Reagan agenda. They've been losing on economic grounds, and so now that the people who've been beating them for their entire careers, like Dick Cheney, have been driven out of the Republican Party, they think, because they were taught since they were young, like young people in their 20s, that the economic conservative ideology is the way to win. Now that those people are kicked out of the Republican Party, they think that they can just inherit that mantle, moderate their economic positions to the right, and then win just as they would have won in the 90s if they had been able to do that. But
Yeah,
they don't realize that the ground is shifted under their feet, and what's actually happening is that both on the left and the right, the established groups that wanted to have free markets and global markets are going to be gone in both parties,
yeah,
and we're going to see an end to that.
I mean, for a while, politics was just slightly left or right leaning social policies on top of
Right.
austerity politics, and that was the
That's right.
battle. And when they see the neocons crumble, I mean, the Democrat, because we saw how how they covered Trump back in 2015, right? When they see the
Mhm.
neocons crumbling to lunatics like Trump, they thought was like, ha, look at them, they're falling apart. What they didn't realize was that like the apparatus of neoconservatism wasn't falling; it was being deconstructed and used to build something more dangerous. But they didn't imagine politics could exist outside of that. To them, politics was a very narrow, like binary framework between like the respective austerity politics, social, conservative, or liberal sides. Um, and what we have now, is a very energized right going up against a relatively sleepy left. Um, or maybe
You're
not
100%
left, but
right.
liberal, like a complacent, like moderate liberal side. Yeah.
I don't think they're feeling that complacent anymore, but it may be too late for them to adjust, and they don't really know how
Maybe.
to adjust in the first place.
There's some good
And
news from the Biden admin. Providing our NatSec guy, Tallulah,
mhm,
and blocking the promotion of that one general who was complicit in
right,
denying the National Guard aid to the Jan 6 stuff.
yeah, and I actually don't think that Biden's been doing a bad job as president. This is my view. I think that Biden's been doing as good a job as he possibly can in a really tough situation. My complaint is mostly strategic about how we pursue political strategy and not about the policies necessarily that Biden has been pushing.
No, he's
That's
no,
my take.
he's. I mean, he's fine within the purview of what he can be. He's fine. He's too old to be like a proselytizer for
Mhm.
anti-fascism, which is what we desperately need right now. You saw those
Right.
those clips from Obama where he was just like charismatic and everyone lost their mind because they forgot that was a thing a leader could be. Yeah.
After Bush, yeah. Yes, absolutely.
No, no, I mean
So,
now. No, no. The speech was a couple days ago.
you're talking about the like Obama's reemergence on the campaign
Yeah,
trail. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
right.
because yeah,
And people have
Biden
been starved for that. Yeah,
Biden can't
absolutely.
do that, and frankly, Trump can't either. I mean, Trump's funny, but he's not really charismatic in like a in the way he's no Hitler, right? Um,
Hmm.
he's just his buffoonery is appreciable to many.
Yes, you can
Sorry.
say that.
Anyway, we're rambling right now.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I had to leave like quite soon, but there was another thing posted in the Discord chat that you wanted to bring up, right?
yes. I before we get off, I really want to make sure to push this. So something that you and your audience may not know. Uh, if you all remember, during the primary election, there was a really big win that progressives had. Summer Lee in Pennsylvania won a congressional primary, a very important congressional primary, and uh, and she's in a safe Democratic district, so or relatively safe. So people were like, "Great, let's move on from the primary. Let's help Democrats in other districts win who are a little more competitive." But we're seeing recent evidence that Summer Lee is in trouble in the general election, and the reason why is the retiring Democratic congressman in her district who had been in that district for a long, long time, who everybody knew in that district. His name is Mike Doyle. He retired. Summer Lee won the primary to succeed him. The Republicans put up a candidate named Mike Doyle, the same name as the Democrat who's been running in that district for a really long time. So
Oh
people
my
are
God.
want to vote for this guy because they think they're voting for Mike Doyle. And Summer Lee's been running a great campaign, but not everybody in the district knows her name yet. Because she's new.
Yeah, I guess
So
difficult to compete against the ultimate enemy of progress, voter brain damage.
exactly. So what we need to do is we need to help Summer Lee get the word out about her campaign and also about who Mike Doyle is. And so we have a sign up link that I want to make sure to promote.
Chat.
Uh, I will put it in the chat, but it's
Oh,
pv22go.tv
I got the
slash
link.
kickoff.
Oh wait, I think I did the wrong link. What happens if you click that? Is that bad? Did I just invite a bunch of people?
pv22go.tv slash kickoff is the right link.
Yeah, I thought I clicked that, but instead of fucking getting the link to the thing, it got the link to the fucking Discord thing. No, hopefully it doesn't
Here, I'll just
happen.
put the link right here.
Here, there. I'm spamming it for real now. Go,
Okay,
guys,
great.
guys.
If you have not done a volunteer shift, now is the time. It's the last several days of the election. This is it.
This is the layup, okay? You're literally just trying to convince people. Like it is a thank you, Annie. It is a heavily left-leaning area. You're literally just going down there to smack a bunch of people with baseball bats to remind them that it's not the same fucking Doyle. Okay?
And this is a really important election for the left. I mean, this is not like just like making sure the Democrats keep a majority or anything like that. This is a potential leader that we can have who will be joining other progressives, young progressives in Congress, and providing real leadership for a long, long time. So we need Summer Lee in there.
I'm
really
begging
badly.
you guys, okay? Do the signups. All right? How many are you looking for? How many signups are you looking for?
We want to get at least 500.
Guys, there are 5,800 people watching right now. Guys, this is your goddamn layup, okay? Sign the fuck up. Wait, is it phone banking, text banking, or
So we have
banking?
an event tomorrow that we're doing where Summer's going to actually come and say hi to us and do an event with us. And then on Friday, we're having another phone bank.
Fucking Summer Lee is going to talk to you guys. The PV22 has enough legitimacy for actual Democratic candidates to show up and say hi, okay? Show up. Go. And you're going to phone bank?
All right. Yes.
Phone banking.
Phone banking.
You can do that from outside the US, right?
Yes, you can.
Anyone.
Absolutely.
Canadians, you're not sitting this one out.
No one's off the hook here. All right. Well, appreciate everybody who's willing to sign up and do this because this is, like I said, this is a really high priority and really important. And Vaush, I don't know when you're available to record these ads, but let's do this in the next couple of days if we can.
Yeah, I can commit to doing it tomorrow for sure.
All right, sounds good. All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate you having me, and congratulations to all of you on developing some really killer messages. These are going to move some voters, and these are going to prove to Democrats that they need to think hard about their strategy and put more resources behind integrating youth projects with progressive media and streamers like Vaush into our strategy for winning.
Good. I want them to feel bad. That's why I'm doing this. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Take care.